the other feature of Krishnadevaraya's court was the Ashtadhiggajas. Ashtadhiggajas are the 8 elephants. I mean, there's a belief that there are 8 elephants which actually hold up the earth in different directions. Like I told you, the names of Pundarika, Vamana, Anjana, and of course Airavat, the elephant of Indra. So these poets, 8 great poets in Krishnadevaraya's court, they were called as the Ashtadhiggajas. They are called as the Ashtadhiggajas. Okay, and of course each of them had their own individual style. One of the most famous poets was Alasani Peddana, who was called as the Andhra Kavita Pitamaha. I mean, the patriarch of Telugu poetry. And he wrote, his famous work is Manu Charitra. I mean, this is a picture of Sri Krishnadevara and Alasani Peddana. And Krishnadevara, in fact, revered Alasani Peddana to such a large extent that he often take that golden bracelet. That golden bracelet he himself would bend down and put it on around his leg. And there were times when he himself would carry the pallaki in which he was carrying. That was the reverence which he had for Alasani Peddana, the senior most of all the 8 poets. The other famous poet which he had was Nandi Timmanna, who hailed from Anantapur district. Okay, he was also called as Mukku Timmanna because he wrote a lot of series of poems on Mukku. Mukku in Telugu means nose. So he wrote a series of couplets and poems on that. So that's the reason why he was nicknamed as Mukku Timmanna too. Okay, and one of his famous work was Parijata Paharnam, which is dealing with the story of Satyabhama taking that Parijatam plant along with Krishna from the heavens. That story. The other one was Madayagari Mallanna. He wrote a famous book called Rajashekar Charitram, which is based on the legendary ruler of the Avanti kingdom. Other one was Durjati Kavi, who basically wrote most of the books in praise of Shiva. His famous one was Srikalahasti Mahatyam, a very famous temple town in Andhra Pradesh. Ayyala Raju Ramabhadra, who was called also Pillala Ramabhadradu. The other one was Pingali Suranna. He wrote a very famous book called Kalapurnodayam, where the first time you made use of techniques like flashbacks. And Ramaraju Bhushanadu, who was, apart from being a very famous poet, was also a pretty great musician too. He played the veena. And of course, Tenali Ramakrishna, which I think most of you would be familiar. Of course, while most of us are familiar with Tenali Ramakrishna as a jester or something, he was also a great author too. He wrote the Panduranga Mahatyam, basically the story of Pundarika and Vitoba in Maharashtra. And that is actually considered as one of the great Panchamahavikavyas, or what is the 5 great works in Telugu literature. So these Ashtadhiggajas were the ones who adorned Sri Krishnadevaraya's court. And they used to daily meet in a session that they called as Bhuvana Vijayam. Bhuvana Vijayam means basically victory over the earth. I mean, even now they keep holding recreations of this Bhuvana Vijayam, where these poets meet and they come up with the poetry. Basically, the poets would meet, they would come up with debates, debates with each other.